Hi, everybody. Welcome to my presentation on the ukulele. Now, this is my ukulele I have right here. His name is Benny, as in Benny King of Stand By Me. He's a tenor uke, wonderful guy. He's always standing by me. And you might be wondering, wow, this looks like such a happy page. And you'd be right, because the ukulele is a happy sounding instrument. And why is there a Hawaiian pizza at the bottom? Well, we'll find out. But the main reason is because this presentation and Hawaiian pizza take about the same amount of time to make. So you must be asking yourself, okay, so so why should I care about the ukulele? And that's something I ask myself all the time. And the simple question is that it's got cool history. So let me tell you about it. So there's this guy, his name's Manuel Nunez, okay? He's coming from this cool place called Portugal. However, at the time that Manuel Nunez exists, Portugal is going through a hard time. So he decides, I'm going to jump on a boat and I'm going to go to this cool place called Hawaii, because Hawaii has a lot of sugar plantations, okay? And sugar plantations means that can have access to jobs, which means, he can afford to feed himself. And as he's coming on this boat to Hawaii, he finally gets there. He's so excited. He jumps off and he starts playing this cool instrument called the raheo, which is the early form of the ukulele, or where the inspiration came from. And all the locals are super excited about it. And eventually, after Nunez plays out his servitude in the sugar plantations, he's like, you know what? Let's just do this cool thing where I make instruments, but instead of 6 strings, it'll be 4 strings. So, and then the ukulele, pronounced the ukulele in Hawaii, was formed. And it gets its name called the jumping flea. The translation is the jumping flea, because that's what your hands look like as you're playing it. So the next thing is, but like, how do I make one? Like Nunez made one, how do I make one? And that's a great question. Okay, so you got this ukulele. It's got 4 strings. The order of the strings is G, C, E, A from top to bottom. And the reason that the strings are in that order is because the top 3 strings, G, C, E, that's in the C major. That's the 1, 3rd, and 5th note in the scale. Those harmonize well together, and then you have the A note. A note as the bottom string, and that's usually the melody string. So you can combine this together so you have a harmony and a melody. You can play at the same time on the instrument. So you got the body. The body is the secondary oscillator. You get the strings, primary oscillator, and then all of those connected together. You get the instrument. And the more important piece, just in case you don't know how to read English, we got the secondary language for all of our foreign students, just to be inclusive. Next, like, how does it work though? Okay, so you get, as I mentioned before, you get the primary oscillator. That's a string. So the string, if they vibrate, nothing too complicated about that. And as they vibrate, they're moving the air around it, and that creates the sound waves that then travels to our ears. So that's the primary oscillator. That's where the primary notes come from. And the secondary oscillator is the body. So the body is the front and back of the ukulele. It's usually made out of koa wood or Spritka spruce or acacia wood, and those vibrate best with the frequencies, and that helps amplify the sound, and then producing the sound out of the sound hole in between. Now, the range of the ukulele, you might be a little surprised, is its range is from a C4, and we play that for you. So you got the C4, and then it goes all the way up, at least for the tenor, to an E6, which is this nice little pleasant note. Oh, that was a wonderful note. And you might be wondering, like, okay, but C4 to E6, those are only treble notes. There's no bass notes in the ukulele. And you'd be absolutely right. And there's someone who wouldn't be happy about this. And that's this lady named Megan Trainor. She's all about that bass. So when she sees the ukulele, she gets pretty angry. But the ukulele overall, it's a pretty happy sounding instrument. And I'm going to demonstrate that by playing you a little bit. And remember, this is a Planet Fitness, so it's a judgment-free zone, but I'll do it anyways. But here's one of my favorite songs. It's called "You've Got a Friend in Me." You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said, oh, you got a friend in me. That's all the time I've got, because I've gone over the time and I need to upgrade